outside the walls of the church. Now that's just one little phrase among much stuff, but that's pretty significant when I think about so many small membership churches and to the biggest churches. But getting them to look outside of the walls of their church.
All the information you're exposed to, where you've been, what would you say is a one priority that this conference has to have as its priority? Priority number one for this new conference. What is what priority it has to have?
Fairly well. I mean, we're getting to know each other still. To me, a great focus has been on seeking what God wants to do with us and with the new conference. There's been a lot of time spent on visioning and really asking questions like, you know, what does God really want us to do as the people of United Methodist in this part of the country? And there's been some struggle, which I think is good. It's not easy. But we're asking honest questions. And I think there's also a part about just uniting together. That's also, I think, a very unique part of what we're doing. We're coming together as two groups of people, and we don't know each other that well. That's not true for everyone, but I think that is partly true. And so we're focusing on that as well. But overall, I think it's going great, and I'm privileged to be here.
The Unification implementation team is starting its work, and it's moving along very well. I would say that my biggest surprise or aha moment has been that the realization that the work that we're doing from here on out is a very different piece of work in scope to the work that was done by the implementation, the Unification steering team last year. Basically, the steering team was doing a feasibility study to look at some different areas, do some due diligence, some research, and see how feasible, or make sure that unification was feasible. That was done. It was presented to the annual conferences. We had the overwhelmingly positive vote at both annual conferences. And now this process that we are beginning now is much closer to the betrothal, the engagement toward the marriage of in unifying our two conferences. That is a very different process where we're actually going to be hammering out the agreements between the two current annual conferences in unifying into and living into the bold new conference.
If we're talking about priorities, not everything is a priority.
Right.
So if our priorities are We have these two populations within our mission field that are really growing. We need to reach them. I mean, we need to make it a priority to reach them.
Seem to be working, and by working, I mean I'm looking at the places where it seems that the vision statement aligns with what we know this group to be, the church or the conference or whatever. And the ones that are less effective are the ones that are safely broad. You know what I mean? They don't really make a choice.